What a woman says isn't always what she truly means. Can you read between the lines? Her eyes hold secrets. Her smile hides intentions. And her words? They're often layered with meaning most men miss. But when you understand the dark psychology tactics at play, you start to see the truth beneath the surface. In this video, we'll break down the psychological strategies that help you decode what she's really thinking, when she's being genuine, when she's testing you, and when she's silently in control. What a woman says isn't always what she truly means. Her silence could be louder than her words. Her smile could hide a storm. Her touch might seem soft, but her mind is calculating. Welcome to the hidden world of female psychology, a place where nothing is random and everything has a deeper meaning. Most men fail to understand women not because they are foolish, but because they only listen to words and ignore behaviors, patterns, and psychological cues. Dark psychology isn't about manipulation or control. It's about awareness. It's about reading between the lines, seeing beyond the obvious, and recognizing the subtle cues women often give, whether consciously or unconsciously. If you want to truly understand women, their desires, fears, games, and emotional strategies, you must enter the domain of dark psychological insight. Women are biologically and socially wired differently from men. Evolution has shaped their instincts to be more emotionally intelligent, more attuned to social signals, and more capable of multitasking emotions and logic at once. So when she gives you a compliment, it might be a test. When she shows indifference, it might be a challenge. When she argues with you, it might be a cry for attention. The male brain looks for direct answers. The female brain often speaks in emotional codes, and that's where most men go wrong. They try to decode emotions with logic. Let's start with the push-pull tactic, one of the most misunderstood behaviors. Women often create emotional tension not because they're confused, but because they're testing emotional strength. When she shows interest and suddenly becomes distant, it's often a subconscious attempt to see if you'll chase her. Weak men collapse. Strong, emotionally intelligent men stand still. And that stillness makes her come back. Why? Because women are instinctively drawn to strength, not just physical, but psychological. Next is micro-expression reading. Every woman gives away her real thoughts in microseconds. A twitch of the eyebrow, a half smile, a glance at the phone when you speak, a sigh after your joke. These expressions last for milliseconds but reveal everything. If you can train your mind to catch them, you'll know when she's lying, when she's excited, when she's bored, without her saying a word. The power of silence is another dark tactic. Many women don't argue when they're truly hurt. They go silent. Silence is not emptiness, it's pressure. It forces you to overthink, to chase, to seek answers. A psychologically aware man doesn't fall for this trap. He waits, he observes, he knows that silence is her way of reclaiming power. If you rush to fix things without understanding what broke, you've already lost. Now consider emotional layering. Women rarely express emotions in isolation. One statement might carry 3 emotions: anger, insecurity, and desire. For example, when she says, "You never spend time with me anymore," she might be feeling lonely, threatened, or craving closeness. But she won't say that directly. Dark psychology teaches you to look beneath the complaint and decode the core emotion. Only then can you respond in a way that actually connects. Let's talk about validation games. Women often withhold validation to test self-worth. They might praise other men in front of you. They might downplay your achievements, not because they want to insult you, but to see if you'll stay centered. If your confidence breaks easily, you're disqualified. Why? Because deep down, women want to feel protected, emotionally, mentally, physically. And a man who is shaken by small jabs is not someone who can provide that anchor. Then comes sexual energy reading, another layer of dark psychology. Women often communicate desire indirectly, through body language, tone, and behavior shifts. Sudden eye contact, playful teasing, proximity, all of these are signals, but many men either overread or underread them. The key is calm observation. Don't chase, don't assume, Just stay grounded and aware. A woman's attraction builds not in pressure but in emotional safety mixed with subtle dominance. Reverse projections are powerful too. Sometimes when a woman accuses you of being distant, she might be the one emotionally detaching. When she calls you controlling, she might be seeking control. Dark psychology trains you to reflect her accusations not defensively, but analytically. Ask yourself, is this about me, or is she projecting her own state? That level of detachment gives you the power to respond instead of react. Another major tactic women use, often without realizing it, is scarcity manipulation. By making themselves unavailable, ignoring texts, being busy, they increase their perceived value. It's basic psychology. We crave what we can't easily have. But here's the twist. If you match their scarcity with your own centered focus, they lose the power. If you panic, you lose. If you remain grounded and unpredictable, you regain control of the frame. Then there's emotional anchoring. Women associate emotions with people. If you make her feel deeply, joy, sadness, excitement, desire, she'll associate all those emotions with you. That's why bad boys leave such strong impressions. They shake up emotions. Nice guys, who are always predictable and safe, often get forgotten. The secret isn't to be bad. It's to create emotional impact. Dark psychology helps you do that, through unpredictability, boldness, and emotional intelligence. Lastly, let's talk about power reversal. When a woman feels she has total emotional power over you, attraction often dies. She might respect you, but the spark fades. That's why men who worship women without boundaries end up in the friend zone. But when you're aware of psychological dynamics, you begin to reverse the power silently. You don't beg, you don't prove, you choose. That silent power, the ability to walk away, to say no, to disagree confidently, creates irresistible tension. Because at the core, women don't want control. They want to feel safe with someone who has control. So now you know, women don't always communicate in words. They speak through emotion, silence, tension, and energy. If you understand dark psychology, you don't just hear, you read, you feel, you see through. But remember, this isn't about manipulation, it's about awareness. When you understand her mind, you stop playing the game blindly and start playing it with power. If you found this eye-opening, don't forget, the world doesn't teach this, but if you learn it, you'll never see women the same way again.